There has never been a time in human history when we were more connected, and yet so many people have never felt more alone. Messages travel across the world in seconds. Faces appear on screens instantly. Voices can reach anyone, anywhere, at any time. And still, something feels missing. Something heavy. Something quiet. Loneliness has become the background noise of modern life, so common that many people don't even recognize it anymore. Loneliness today doesn't always look like isolation. It doesn't always mean being physically alone. You can be surrounded by people and still feel invisible. You can have hundreds of contacts and no one to call. You can wake up every day, go to work, smile, laugh, reply to messages, and still feel like no one truly sees you. That's the kind of loneliness people don't talk about. The kind that hides behind routines, productivity, and constant distraction. Modern loneliness is subtle. It creeps in quietly. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up in moments when the noise stops. Late at night, when the screen goes dark. Early in the morning, before the world wakes up. It shows up when you achieve something and realize there's no one you really want to tell. When something hurts and you hesitate before reaching out, wondering if you'd be a burden. When you feel disconnected not because you lack people, but because you lack depth. We were told that technology would bring us closer, and in many ways, it has. But it also changed how we connect. Conversations became shorter. Attention became divided. Presence became optional. Somewhere along the way, being reachable replaced being available. And being seen online replaced being known in real life. Social media promised community, but it often delivers comparison. You scroll through carefully curated lives, highlight reels, smiling faces, celebrations, relationships, and success. And even when you know it's edited, even when you know it's not the full story, your brain still compares. It still asks why everyone else seems to belong somewhere, while you feel like you're standing on the outside looking in. Loneliness isn't just emotional. It's physical. Studies show it affects the brain in the same way as hunger. The body interprets prolonged loneliness as a threat. Cortisol rises. Sleep suffers. The immune system weakens. Over time, loneliness can be as damaging to health as smoking or obesity. Yet it's rarely treated with the same seriousness. Because loneliness doesn't show. There are no visible symptoms. No obvious wounds. Just a quiet ache that grows when ignored. What makes modern loneliness even more painful is the belief that you shouldn't feel this way. After all, you have access to everything. Entertainment on demand. Constant communication. Endless content. So when loneliness appears, many people turn the blame inward. They assume something is wrong with them. That they are failing socially. That they are broken. But loneliness isn't a personal failure. It's a societal pattern. We built a world optimized for efficiency, not connection. Cities designed for speed, not gathering. Workplaces designed for output, not belonging. Schedules packed so tightly there's no room for unplanned moments. Even relationships are often squeezed between responsibilities, notifications, and exhaustion. People are busy, but not fulfilled. Surrounded, but not supported. There was a time when community wasn't optional. When people depended on each other to survive. When conversations weren't scheduled, they just happened. When presence was physical and unavoidable. Today, independence is praised, but hyper-independence comes at a cost. We're taught to handle everything alone, to be strong, to not need too much, to not ask. Over time, that strength turns into isolation. Loneliness also hides behind success. Some of the loneliest people are those who appear to be doing well. The ones others assume don't need support. The ones who are always reliable, always composed, always fine. They learn to carry everything quietly. They become experts at being needed, but not known. And that kind of loneliness can be the hardest to admit. There is a particular loneliness that comes from feeling misunderstood. From knowing people see parts of you, but not the whole. From editing yourself to fit in. From staying silent about thoughts that feel too heavy or too strange or too honest. Over time, you begin to feel disconnected not just from others, but from yourself. Modern isolation isn't always about absence. Sometimes it's about replacement. Replacing conversations with scrolling. Replacing vulnerability with humor. Replacing silence with noise. Replacing connection with consumption. We fill every gap with stimulation, hoping it will drown out the feeling. But distraction only delays loneliness. It never heals it. And then there's the loneliness of transition. Moving to a new city. entering adulthood, losing a relationship, changing careers, growing in a different direction than the people around you. Life changes faster than our support systems. People drift, routines break, and suddenly you realize you're navigating something entirely new without the connections you once relied on. The hardest part is that loneliness feeds on itself. The longer it lasts, the harder it becomes to reach out. You start to believe others don't care, that they wouldn't understand, that it's too late. So you withdraw further, and the silence grows, not because no one would listen, but because asking feels risky. Yet beneath all of this, one truth remains. Humans are not meant to do life alone. We are wired for connection, for shared experience, for being witnessed. Loneliness is not a weakness. It's a signal that something deeply human is asking to be acknowledged. The solution to modern loneliness isn't more followers. It isn't better algorithms. It isn't constant positivity. It begins with presence, real presence, listening without multitasking, speaking without performing, creating spaces where people can exist without pretending. Connection doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty. It requires saying, "I'm not okay," and allowing that to be enough. It requires asking questions and staying for the answers. It requires slowing down in a world that rewards speed. Small moments matter more than grand gestures. A sincere message, a shared silence, a conversation without phones on the table, a willingness to be slightly uncomfortable for the sake of something real. Loneliness shrinks when it is named, when it is shared, when it is met with compassion instead of judgment. And sometimes, the first step out of loneliness is becoming that presence for someone else. Not as a fix, but as a reminder that connection still exists, that depth is still possible, that we are not as alone as we think. The world may be louder than ever, but meaning is still found in quiet moments between people, in empathy, in shared vulnerability, in choosing to see and be seen. Technology will continue to evolve. Life will continue to accelerate, but the need for connection will never disappear. Loneliness is one of the great challenges of our time, not because we lack people, but because we lack depth. And depth begins when we stop performing and start being real. If you feel lonely, you are not weak. You are human, and your longing for connection is not something to suppress. It is something to honor. The cure for modern loneliness is not isolation. It is courage. The courage to reach out. The courage to slow down. The courage to be honest. And the courage to believe that somewhere, someone is waiting to feel less alone too. Loneliness is not a flaw in you. It is a signal from your humanity. Connection heals when we choose presence over performance and honesty over silence. If this story resonated with you, like this video. If it reminded you that you're not alone, share it with someone who needs it. Comment below if you ever felt lonely even when surrounded by people.
Kindly subscribe to Chronicles of Colors for more transformative and inspiring stories.